A lovely morning to you out there. Thank you, and hope you could join us this morning on Good Morning Anambra, the discussion segment. In case you're just joining, my name is Ajubuchuku Okabui.
And of course, my name is Chidima Oranga. We gladly welcome you to today's edition of the program, Good Morning Anambra. Of course, it's Friday, TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday.
Yeah, it's always going to be good every Friday because Chidima has promised me something after the show. Well, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of what we have this morning, talking about preserving Igbo cultural symbols in a modern age, meaning of masquerades, titles, and traditional authority. Yeah, you can see I'm looking traditional here. Only for, aesthetics sake, I didn't bring on my red cap and then my beads.
You're not a red cap too, so please do not force it.
Let's go traditional. Yeah, it's always good to actually talk traditional because, sincerely speaking, that's what we are as humans, as social animals. What you eat shows where you're coming from, the kind of clothes you wear, and then the way you greet and some things like that. So we'll be talking about all of that as Africans. It's the seat of civilization. And in the studio this morning, we have a special guest that will be delving into the questions and then the topic that we've selected for discussion this morning. None other than Chidima, give me the...
Okay, we have Mr. Commissioner with us in the studio. He is Don Onyenji, the Commissioner for Culture, Entertainment and Tourism. Glad to have you on the show this morning.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
All right, we are talking about culture. We are talking about Igbo symbols, titles, and tradition. So let's start with understanding Igbo cultural symbols. Now, let's start with masquerade, the one we call Mmang in Igbo language. Now, what do masquerades or Mmang, what do they actually represent traditionally in Igbo cosmology and, of course, the community life?
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning once more. Masquerades in Igbo culture and tradition is for entertainment. That's number one. Two, the concept is about not just entertainment, but to promote cultural values. Masquerades are perceived and understood to be from the spirit, so they are not human beings, per se, in Igbo tradition and cosmology. It's, they are coming from the spirits. They represent a lot of things. And so, apart from entertainment, they are part of our culture. They send messages across, and they are used as messengers to convey messages. Of course, there's control excesses. They are used as managers of law and order. Those days, if anybody goes beyond the social norms, masquerades are used to call those persons to order. Masquerades were also used to train children. In the night, if a child is stubborn and refuses to, abide by house rules and all of that, masquerade in the night, when it comes around, the child will be afraid, and the mommy will say, "Mama, go." Then the child will beg and plead that you never sin again, so to speak. And then those days, for you to mature, even at your, puberty level or beyond that, before that, you'll be adjust to get to the point where you're now more. So that day, you'll be taken into an enclosure, and you'll be interacting with the spirits, the masquerade, and you confess all your sins in the family. If you're thieving, if you're refusing to go on chores and all of that, that day you swear that you always obey your parents and all of that. Now, masquerades are used for entertainment, for ceremonies, festivals, dancing and all of that in their various colors and styles and makeups. There are many kinds of masquerades, and they also in their performances convey messages either by entertainment or by stealing fear on people and all of that. And all of these make up the beautiful custom and tradition of the Igbo people. So there are so many things about masquerading. They also you attend to invitations and all of that. If you have a friend who is doing something, celebrating something, you go with masquerades. And almost of the towns in Igbo land have their festivals where masquerades also. And government has taken that up over the years and mainstreamed it into our traditional cultural settings, that if you're doing a Waji festival, New Yam festivals, if you're doing some other kinds of festivals in various communities, masquerades also, burial ceremonies of men, not women, men
Even
only.
when we are having global celebration like Christmas and the Easter period, you see people coming out. Yes.
Growing up,
Exactly.
Christmas celebrations, everything, masquerades are there and all of that. I remember those days we were small and we have this teenage arrangement of masquerades.
Yeah.
Awoka, yes, you know, Awoka. You have the boy, you have the girl of the house, you have the Obuefi na Munye, you have the Onuku and all of that. Beautiful dancing and all of that. Adamma, you know. So, and so many kinds of Ozodemba, Odogu, you know, there are many kinds of masquerades in Igbo land. So they make up, in fact, I would say that Igbos have the highest number of masquerades in the world, in the real sense of masquerade. And generally in Anambra State, I will also say that Anambra State has the highest number of masquerades in the world. Yes, because I mean, we are robust in our traditional culture. We celebrate life and all of that. So masquerade is good, and it's been part of our culture.
Okay, now that we have talked about what masquerade signifies in Igbo cosmology, now let's talk about how masquerading and, of course, all the things that they do, the responsibilities and all that, how they have evolved from their traditional rituals or what we've known them for to what we have now in our current society.
Yes, modernity, you know, affects what we do traditionally, but that's okay. What you do in your cultural, you know, culture is dynamic. Whatever you do in your small enclave, whether it's your family, whether it's your kindred, your village, community, and all of that, state, even nationally, there are constitutional provisions for conduct of humanity, you know. Where somebody's rights starts, the other one, you know, you stop somewhere, the other person's continue.
Yes.
So it comes to the issue of fundamental human rights, rights to movement, rights to enjoy, and all of that done. And so some of the modernities in terms of what we see people do, either because they have embraced, you know, new ways of doing things, you know, development and all of that. It has also infiltrated our culture, not for the worst of it, but if we can blend it, it also goes for us. That's why even today, we still celebrate, as a government, we celebrate Mongo Festival. In Anambra State, we have enjoyed our Iriji New Yam festivals, both the Iriji itself and blended with masquerading. So it's a side attraction that is good. Now, that is the same thing all over Anambra State and Igbo. Now, because of modernity and because of you know, the ways people have lifestyle changes and the way society transmits and transforms and all of that, masquerading, some people have not understood it so well, so much that there are abuses now. Especially when some people lose the connectivity as to what masquerade is all about. It's not about dealing with people, punishing people unnecessarily, or harassing people unnecessarily. No. Masquerade is for entertainment. You don't block somebody's movement. You don't harass anybody anyhow. No. Masquerade is organized. If you check in Igbo land, every masquerade has people who also now support it, you know, play the music, you know, controls it. Every masquerade, because we know in our Igbo, and we say to ourselves that masquerades come from the ant hole, you know. That's what you tell the young ones so that they will have this fear and all of that, but they're all interesting. So as things evolve, we have begun to have this challenge of people going beyond normalcy, going beyond reasonability. You don't block somebody because that person has his right of way. So if you block somebody, challenge somebody unnecessarily, then you are defaulting the laws. That simply, it's just very clear. Okay. So that is the new thing that has become some challenge, in our own setting, and of course, government does not tolerate it.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Commissioner. Talking about masquerades and then the Igbo culture, symbols, and the rest of it all. Now, UNESCO has deemed it necessary to preserve human culture heritage by highlighting some locations to be very, very important to certain countries and certain localities, so that generations upon generations will come and see. The same thing equally goes to customs and tradition. That's why some masquerades in some parts of the world have even been categorized under UNESCO. And Ijele happens to be one of that, and that's from Anambra State. Now, as the tourism commissioner, what are you doing? What is your office doing in order to make Ijele a money spinner so that Anambra State could equally have some revenue generation by having cultural festivals where people will come from other parts of the world to come and see what Ndocha have decided to preserve for us, like we don't know the importance of it, to the extent that UNESCO is now making it an exclusive reserve.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And for the fact that Ijele comes from Anambra State. If you go to the Anambra State Museum in Wukun, the Ijele is there, to tell you that really it's a global, phenomenon.
They said it's even the largest in sub-Saharan Africa.
Yes.
The largest masquerade.
Yes. That's why Ijele is revered to be the biggest masquerade, and it dances last, appears last in ceremonies.
And Ijele number one was Look at Ijele. They just Ijele.
And even right from time, it has been there. Beautiful, and even, as beautiful as it is, So we are mainstreaming Ijele. That's why in every ceremony we have had in this state, Ijele had always performed. All our traditional festivals, Iriji festival we've done since the Solution government came on board. Our governor, Professor Chukwuacha Soludo CFR, had ensured that all masquerades, most masquerades will come and perform during our ceremonies, Iwaji. And because he's a son of the soil and a traditional person and lover of our culture, he has always supported this. So Ijele have been promoted. Now, even if it's not like, we've taken our Ijele to Festac, we've taken our Ijele to our festivals in Abuja, so we do. And that is fine, even if we are not taking them to. In fact, some of our diasporans are, they dance Ijele, portray, celebrate Ijele, even when they are celebrating the Iwaji ceremony out there, whether in Germany, US, and all of that. So it's an international thing known for, Igbo and in the Anambra particularly. So promotion is all about kind of democratizing it, because so many communities have their Ijeles. It's not just one Ijele. Okay. So most communities that have masquerades have their Ijele. So it has become one of our best.
Can we have something similar to what we have in Cross River State, the cultural festival we have in Cross River State, where you see people come parade, bring out their Ekpe and some other masquerades too, during that carnival they usually have towards the end of the year, every year for some time now. We want a thing of that, because that's a money spinner. I served in Cross River State, and I happen to have witnessed one of that. You won't believe the influx of people. Hotels are booked. The entire state is on standstill for the parade and everything. Different days. We saw something similar to that last Christmas happening. Can it be sustained so that a thing of such would definitely bring Anambra
You're talking
back.
about one of the activities in Onwa December.
Yeah, Onwa December.
Yes. You see, we mainstreamed it into our Onwa December package.
Yeah.
And some communities did it. And at the state level, we planned masquerade festivals in 3 zones, you know. Because of a lot of the congestion and some unforeseen issues, we couldn't even do all of that as we wanted. But the Mmo Festival, which was part of that, was arranged to also project this. Because our projection was, if you do it at Ekweme Square on it and Ekulobia, you have it. But then, we also supported what's done in other communities. There was one at Umuchu, which was a good one. There were others, many others around the state. You know, so I believe that moving forward by before the end of this year or by this year, it will now happen, because masquerade has become a major aspect of our cultural heritage, and we, you know, work on it to ensure that we have our cultural carnival, which most likely masquerade will be part of it.
All right.
So it's on our mind. And
Thank you so much, Mr. Commissioner. Now, if we have ascertained that the roles of masquerade in Igbo cosmology is about them being for entertainment, and also we can also categorize them as spiritual emissaries and all that. Now, what happened in Obo? Because we saw the video of what happened where a masquerade named Agaba, when an interrupted a performer that was on stage. He was so aggressive towards him. Even after that, we also saw a video where some people that were following Agaba tried to hurt someone that was riding a bike and all that. And the way he was pursuing people, because we've said that it's for entertainment, but it seems like there are some kind of masquerades that are aggressive in nature. So when it comes to this kind of masquerade, how do we curtail their excesses so that it will still be, okay, if they want to pass a message or from the spiritual world to us as humans, or if they are just there for entertainment, how do we harmonize the activities of such kind of masquerade?
Okay, thank you very much. What happened in Obo was unfortunate, and back in 2024, the government of Anambra State, by the directive of Mr. Governor, rolled out some directives as to how masquerades will perform. Masquerades can leave his location, move gently to an arena, village square and all of that, and go perform there. And if you're moving there, you have to move gently. Don't block the traffic and all of that. They were all set out, and people were made to understand that. Now, in masquerading sometimes, traditionally, some will go haywire. You know, that's why we need to do GDA. So if Ndinete Agaba had changed it, it can't move more than. But they allowed it to move like that, and it created problems. Now, Obo is part of it. First of all, the masquerade went haywire, and that was not good, especially the ones we saw on the road, you know. That's one. Two, blocking roads and fighting people on the road, no. Then secondly, at the location where the last of Fala of their traditional ruler was being celebrated, that was the occasion. And the musician from Obo was playing on stage. The group that moved with the masquerade saw him first, and then he was on stage playing and all of that, you know, trying to, and then they gave him signal that look, we are coming back, you know we are here, you know, and they went back and came back, and he was still there, and by then it appeared they had told the masquerade that this guy is daring you, because locally, when they traditionally in their place, when that masquerade comes on board, everybody clears. You stop everything, nothing. That's their tradition. So, you know. So when they came, they felt that the guy was still adamant on stage, and then the masquerade had to, you know, get to the stage to fight him, you know, and all of that. So, and then he stood still, and then the masquerade was trying until people intervened and all of that. And the people got angry and began to throw seats and all of that. It was not a good one at all. And you see, they didn't manage that situation well, unfortunately. And government had to come in because, you know, you don't trample on people's rights. So government didn't like it, and then government had to intervene, and they pulled the masquerade. We had to, and then we had to interrogate the masquerade. You got to go, because whatever we say, this world is controlled, managed by human beings. This is Anambra. So for any more to do anything, he has to conform with the traditions, culture, social norms, freedom of movement, people's fundamental human rights, and all of that. So that is the law. So nobody should either, you know, do anything negative or hurting any other person because you want to celebrate. No. So Obu case, government has handled it so effectively, and the lessons learned. And I'm sure Obo people will not allow such a thing to happen again.
You know, I saw some comments on social media where we posted that the man behind the Agaba masquerade, they have been arrested with his team. Yeah. And then a lot of people came under the comment section to write something that, yeah, this is against our tradition, that Agaba will always be an Agaba, that Agaba will not be an Abowomongo, and so many of them. No, now they are saying that that this is a kind of an abomination for a state government to weigh in to arrest Mongo, a spiritual being as we, you know, understand it. And some of them are also saying that this has something to do with not preserving the sacredness of masquerade. What do you have to say about that?
Well, total freedom is no freedom. You cannot allow any masquerade or anybody to come into the society and behave as if he has everywhere. And I mean, his authority is unlimited. And no. Masquerades are conducted for entertainment. And not to hurt people. And not to create chaos. Even where masquerade do kind of create chaos, is to jam mad. You know, people run and laugh and all of that. It's not to harm anybody. So anybody who harms anybody, in terms, you know, because you're masquerading, the law is there. The law is there. So yes, tradition, agreed, but then we have to also ensure that that those traditions promote culture and tourism. Because if somebody comes from Germany, from US and all of that, and walking along the road and enjoy masquerade, and then the masquerade goes to harm him, how does it promote tourism? You understand?
Yeah, we understand.
So those who masquerade, those who have the masquerade, should understand.
Yeah, we witnessed it.
They should understand. Otherwise, if you talk about trampling on the traditions and because you arrested a masquerade, it's those people who are managing the masquerade should be blamed.
Yeah.
Because they faulted the law and not the other way around.
We witnessed it even at the Eyo festival that the president even witnessed in Lagos not too long ago at the turn of the year and some part of late last year, where hoodlums now masquerading as Eyo masquerades were wielding weapons and flogging people indiscriminately. You understand? On the streets of Lagos. So you see, people can actually go in and, you know, abuse all the opportunity and then take away the shine of what the masquerade and the entertainment, and then the importance of it is. But then at this juncture, well, let's go for a street walk. Unfortunately, we won't be interviewing any masquerade, but let's get to feel the pulse of our street parliamentarians on the discussion we are having here in the studio. The show continues after this time out.
I'm of the opinion that, you know, Igbo culture should be preserved exactly the way they were. In recent times, you see people, you know, doing masquerade with all kind of, you know, like guns or weapons and all that. It wasn't like that before, you know. So I don't like the way these cultures adapt to recent this thing and leaving the old pattern or tradition. So I don't support it. I'm of the opinion that all these Igbo traditions should be kept and practiced exactly the way they were done before.
Well, it should be preserved, but to my own personal opinion, there must be a change. Because, in the olden days, there are some masquerades that are very, very dangerous, that can cause something that might lead to death. These ones are things of the past that need to be changed and modernized so that it will look like a kind of a carnival culture where everybody is free to watch masquerade, enjoy masquerade. And it's a kind of thing that will, for the elderly people, that will ease a high temperature in somebody. So I think it should be preserved, but the olden pattern should be changed.
They should be adopted to model because most things happening now, like during festival period, like no, like the situation is becoming so radical. Like the way they flock, the way they ask for money, like is unfair. She understand? It's unfair, especially this economy now we are. She understand? Like you see most villages, they take it personal. They took it personal, like it's a must. They provide like any person passing by provides money, like gives them money and all that.
I don't know how the modern part of masquerade will be, and the ones we have now are more fun. I think if they should be taken away, we won't be able to get this historical part of trying to keep the kids, because when the kids come out from the urbanized area and they come to the rural area, which is the villages, the town, they need to see our culture. If we bring us to modernize this masquerade, I don't think it's going to give that joy it gives. Then, do you understand? So this masquerade has its own histories, it has its own parts when it comes to documenting artifacts, like through the masquerade, cultural masquerade, olden, like the past one we have now. It's kind of bringing more, like flashing back to the olden days. I think that is the only way we can, imagine how it feels then. If it should be modernized, I don't really think it's fun again. People will neglect it. Then our culture in total is neglected.
Some of the activities should be checkmated. Do you understand? Like some of the masquerades are doing things that are not supposed to be done in the right way. So some things that they do doesn't go within how it's supposed to be. It doesn't go in accordance with, like, it doesn't go in a way that shows that what they are doing is in the right track. Do you understand? So there are some activities like whipping people that are going on their way. If you want to whip, you can whip your fellow masquerades. Do you understand? Like whipping strangers, like people that are just moving on their way, it doesn't make sense.
Masquerades are part and parcel of our culture and tradition, but then there are people that are meant to checkmate their activities, and that's what we are talking about here. Nobody can take away the beauty of masquerades and then the fun that they bring, and then the symbolism of what their activities are. That's why we're still talking here. We're talking about the masquerades and everything, but that's not the only thing we have here.
Yeah, we've dwelt so much on masquerade, their activities, and how we can curtail their excesses, especially the ones that appear aggressive and all that. And I think to some extent, you've really told us how the state government weighed into the issue that happened in Obo. And we've had various issues, even the one that happened at Nibo, and then we also have the one that happened at Cross River. All trying to see how we can curtail the excesses to actually make masquerading to be still fun. And from what our street parliamentarian says, most of them, they still look forward to going back to the villages and enjoying, masquerading and everything that comes with it. And then, but like you've said earlier, that the important thing is to curtail, especially those people following them, to know when to hold them. for the aggressive ones and all that. But then talking about some of the symbols and of course, you know, the titles in Igbo land. We have a lot of titles, the Ozo, the Ichies, the Igwe title. And when we talk about symbols, we have something like Ofo and all those sacred regalias. Like, I just want us briefly to talk about the importance to Igbo identity.
Okay, let's start with Ofo. Ofo is a symbol of authority and truth. And that's why when people begin to contest who holds the Ofo, Igbo will say Ofo Moeje, that is because it's a symbol of authority passed from generation to generation and to those who are heads of families and all of that. So that's one. Two, there are other symbols, titles, and all of these speak to tradition and you know, respect, to recognize this person that you are a good man and all of that. Those days, if you are taking a chieftaincy title like Ozo, well, first of all, you must be judged to be a wealthy man that can feed your family, have something doing and all of that, credible person, and then you must stand by truth. In fact, our forebears went to the extent of using sharp you know, instruments to cut your tongue. That is to say you are committed to saying the truth always. You got a kaile for the boichi. Cut your parts of to show if you man that you cannot involve yourself in certain things, you know, that will reduce the quality of social norms we are expecting from elders like you. So traditionally, there are every other symbol says something. Even in the titles, Oka Obuluzo means that if you say we're going to do this, you know, Ochilozwo, the man philanthropist, you know, and those titles also are philosophically passing messages of what you think you believe in. If I say Ike Delugo, that's my father, it means that you have to work to eat. You know, there's no food for a lazy man. So you must work. Ike, that is strength, Nyelugo. So you don't sit and sleep when others are going to work. If you say, Olwa Tuebu, it means that this man does not fear work. You understand? So it is derived from the kind of person you are. So these are, if you say Odenibo, using the governor as an example now,
sure,
is Odenibo Agwata. It means that no that is, this man is popular. That's his title before he became governor. You know, so you find out that everything, if you say Akunne, it means that your mother has a hand in making you a successful person. You know, so there are many titles that, you know, so, and we need to regulate these things also too, because I mean, that's why the solution government said if anybody has to be given title by a community, then that community, that Igwe that is giving you that title will seek approval from your home Igwe and town union. So that you don't go to another place and get a big title and then come to your community where you have not even been seen as a responsible person to begin to mess up. You know, when the bono, na harass and the bono, a brace boom mad a jail, but kata even. No, Obodo Yama, no, is woman or not. So I don't know what I answered you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You really answered it and you've driven it into it. But that's the much we can take on this segment, talking about the culture, preserving Igbo cultural symbols in the modern age, meaning of masquerades, titles, and traditional authority. I want to say a very big thank you to you, Commissioner Don Oyenji, Commissioner for Culture, Entertainment, and Tourism. Indeed, you have entertained us and then told us and our viewers a whole lot about our custom and tradition. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have a lot, and let's promote our culture and tradition. That's what we have, what we are known for. I mean, in Igbo, we are rich. Everybody came in Christmas celebrating and dancing. That's part of our culture. communal life, celebrations, happiness, enterprise, so many things. We are a beautiful people, and we can only take care of those which are excesses and make our culture grow. By the next time, I believe that more people are coming because Destination Anambra is on now. And people are trooping into Anambra State.
Sure.
That's
it's no longer, it's now a destination lounge.
Destination point, not a departure lounge anymore.
Okay, yeah.
Courtesy of one man, Oluwatoegbu, and solution continues.
All right, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
The show continues after this time out because we'll have our next segment that's going to be the Honorable Commissioner for Education talking about Professor Ngozi Chumude. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.